Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to discuss Charles Lamb, his intro and his writing style. So Charles Lamb essays are included in your syllabus, so before jumping into his essays we'll see his writing style, so that you better build a connection or relation between his style that is reflected in his essays, right? So begin with his brief introduction. Charles Lamb, he was an English poet, essayist and antiquarian, and famous for his essays, right? And all of these essays that you will gonna study are published in his collection known as Essays of Elia, right? And other of his famous works include books Tales of Children from Shakespeare, co-authored the Tales of Shakespeare with his sister Mary Lamb, and he was a prominent figure of literary circle in England. And apart from that, this is his biography, right? He was born on 10th February 1775 in London, right? And then he attended the Christ Hospital at the age of 7, and it was a free boarding school, to educate poor children. He attended there, and apart from that, this is the details of his early life, which is not necessary, right? And then 1796 he started his literary career with the publication of the four sonnets by Coleridge in his first volume. And apart from this, we'll see his writing style, right? His essays are implicitly nostalgic, right? So his essays are nostalgic, and melancholy is found, right, with humor and pathos as well. So उसमें हम देखेंगे कि उसके एसेस में नॉस्टैल्जिया पाया जाता है. नॉस्टैल्जिया, यू नो दैट रिमेंबरिंग पास्ट और लॉस्ट इन योर पास्ट और रिमेंबरिंग और रिकॉलिंग द पास्ट, एंड melancholic the sadness or right, the sadness, the gloominess, along with the humor and pathos. This is very important aspect of his writing style, the blending or the combination of humor and pathos at the same time, right? Humor and pathos, though they are opposite things. Humor something that is comic, right? That is funny, like, and pathos something that is melancholic, that is sadness, gloominess. So he combined both of these, right, to reduce the effect of pathos. He used humor. And humor and pathos, this is a separate topic, important topic. I'll discuss it in a separate video, right? His writing is witty, wisdom, found, and then humanism. And then we'll see some of right, Charles Lamb writing style. And then this is the unnecessary details. Charles Lamb is one of the eminent romantic essayists, right? He is referred to, yes, this is important, he is referred to as the prince of all essayists. Charles Lamb, known as the prince of all essayists of England, right? And he is called essayist per excellence by Hugh Walker. And apart from that, we'll see, right, he was a well-known literary figure of 19th century romanticism, right? And his famous work collections, Essays of Elia, and well-known for irony, wit of common subject, unique warmth, right, intense screaming, personal essays. Yes, we'll see subjectiveness in his essays, his personal stories he narrate, right? And self-revelation of his essay means his essays are personal, and told the stories of himself and his relatives mostly in his essays. And apart from that, these are unnecessary details, right? I don't want you to go into it. Just to get the crux of his writing, right? Familiarity of tone, just let it. And then didacticism, no didacticism, right? His writings are not didactic, as opposite to Bacon. We saw Bacon is didactic and moralist, whereas Charles Lamb is not. And then the confused nature of Charles Lamb's essays, right? Confusing nature in the light of touch, combining both humor and pathos, right? Humor, pathos, and humanity. His essays are rich in humor, fun, and pathos as well. A charming atmosphere is created in the Lamb's essay, with humor and associated sweetness drawn along it. And fluctuating, the changing, fluctuating, combining of these elements and style of essays ranges from the rebellion, verbousness, mischievousness, attempts at mystification, right? Pun, ridiculous, all of these. And the tragic nature of life, yes, will saw melancholy, sadness, gloominess, tragic nature of life that he portrayed in his essay, and his own disappointments are also reflected in his essays. And so Charles Lamb is a remarkable borrower. What he borrowed, he remarkably borrowed his style from his predecessors, right? Writers of the old world, the classicists, and these writers include Sir Thomas Browne and Fuller. And the style is archaic, old, right? Primitive. And then, right? And then his style is mixture of many styles. Complex style consists of many style extracted from romantic, color, and old writers, and classicism as well. Strong imagination is there, right? That is important. Ordinary subject with a fanciful imagination, and interesting and romantic as well. So further, in a nutshell, we can summarize his writing style in this single page, right? Charles Lamb, let me open it. Yeah, so Charles Lamb, he is a narrator. He is described as a narrator because he narrates stories in his essays. We'll see the stories that he narrate in his essays, and I will discuss his essays in detail as well. Poor relation, chimney sweepers, right? And essays that are included in your syllabus. And he's subjective, right? His own opinions, narrating himself and his relative and relations, and his most of autobiographical elements, right? He narrates his own stories in his essays, and he's imaginative, right? In the dream children, we'll see this imagination. He imagine children's, right? And then children, and then humor and pathos, I already discussed that, and will discuss it in a separate video, how this humor and pathos is found in his essays. And love for the past, nostalgia, picturesque mean creating picture in the mind of a reader. And then love for the relations, so in his essay we'll saw his love for relation in poor relations, that is his essay. And then is humanism, or the gentry, or the spirit of humanism, in his essay, the chimney, in the praise of chimney sweepers, right? And then formality of familiarity, wisdom and tolerance, right? Wisdom, wit, as I already told you, and he is not didactic, unlike Bacon. And he addressed the readers directly, and he used simple language and kind of universality, right? Aphorism, wisdom, and then wit and ironical treatment as well. So this is about the writing style of Charles Lamb, and in the next video I'll discuss his essay.